Hey everybody, this is Joe Pace with Icewater Yoga, and today we're going to be talking about forearm stand, also known as pincha mayurasana. Okay, so we'll call it forearm stand. Don't worry about the term pincha mayurasana. But you will hear it called pincha every once in a while out there in the world. For this one, you might want to use a block or have a block handy, and honestly, there isn't really a great replacement for a block, and if you're starting to think about doing this pose, it might be worth the $5 to $10 investment in having one. This demonstration in this tutorial is going to break down the pose in 5 steps. The 5th step is the full pose, so I can demonstrate the full thing. And I do want you to just appreciate the process of developing poses. So this isn't about nailing pincha mayurasana on day one. What makes this yoga pose easy, and why this video is titled Yoga Pose Made Easy, is because we can actually do the pose without actually doing the pose and get the majority of the benefits from it without being upside down balancing on our forearms. Embrace your steps towards the pose. I highly encourage you to do that. This is going to be very similar to the headstand tutorial because the upper body positioning and the arm positioning is really critical for the success of the pose. So you have a bunch of options in the upper body, and we'll spend the majority of this beginning talking about that, and then we'll go through the 5 steps very quickly. So the alignment in your upper body is going to be unchanged across every one of these 5 steps. So let's get into it. The first thing that you can start with is the back of the hands against the mat. So you'll almost never see this, but this makes it a lot easier on your shoulders. What we want to avoid in the pose is when our forearms are against the mat, we don't want our elbows to do this. When this happens, our chest collapses, we bring a ton of pressure into the shoulders, and we are gonna fall out of the pose pretty quickly. If I keep my palms out like this, and you can even try this, you'll notice the elbows kind of wanna spread. It doesn't really feel comfortable in the back. But when you point your hands, or face your hands towards you, that pressure doesn't exist anymore in the upper back. It's a lot easier. And you can actually balance your body weight on your arms just like this with the back of the hands against the floor. You can do it like this, making your way towards hands towards the ground. You can karate chop the ground, or you can plant hands against the mat. For all of these positions, you can also use a block. For the block, you can have hands against it, hands against it, hands against it. And what's nice is you can press the weight in your hand weight into the blocks while also keeping your elbows in line with your wrists. The block is really nice for that. Step 1 is going to use this alignment, but I want to just let you in on a little key here. Not only are we worried about the elbows splaying out, but we're also worried about the shoulders hunching towards the ears. We want to make sure we can do this pose with shoulders away from the ears and elbows in. So we're going to practice that in step 1, which is just simply forearm plank. Set up your alignment with block or without. I'd say to start, let's start with the block. Palms face up, elbows directly underneath shoulders, and then we step back and press weight into the base of our forearms, closer to our elbows, but also press the back of the hands against the mat. You can work towards both palms against the block or both hands against the floor. Step 2. Dolphin pose. Same options with the upper body and the block. Whatever you're working on, now you're starting to walk the feet towards the elbows. Keep the elbows hugging in. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. You're pressing your hips back through your shoulders. Hold that pose. Once you start to feel very comfortable there, holding for about a minute, you're ready for step 3, which is dolphin pose, one leg lifting. So same options again with the arms. Once you start to feel comfortable here, move here, then here. Assuming you're comfortable with palms against the ground, walk the feet in as far as you can, and then lift one leg high. Start to feel more weight coming into the forearms. This is a lot more challenging, and you're just trying to breathe smoothly, deeply, keeping the shoulders away from the ears, pressing the elbows into the mat, pressing the palms into the mat as strongly as you can. So that brings it into more of an inversion shape. You're starting to get more and closer to upside down, starting to develop the strength in the shoulders you need to hold your body weight. Hold that one for a minute with both legs, and then you're ready for the wall. So you walk up to the wall, palms face down. You can always use the block. And then for this position and this transition, you keep the elbows pressing down, the hands pressing down. And then from here, you take dolphin pose, and you're not flinging your top leg up.
you're gently lifting the top leg and using your bottom leg to kick up. One leg touches the wall, the other leg touches the wall. And you're actually using the wall here, and then maybe bringing one foot off it and the other. Come down lightly and in control. So now when you're upside down at the wall for a little while, you might get a little dizzy. Don't come straight up like I did. As you come down, maybe take a little bit of a child's pose. Take a rest. Okay, so let's just break it down for the final step. In the middle of the room, pincha mayurasana, forearm stand. We're gonna take the hands, shoulders width, and actually for me, one thing that I haven't mentioned yet, what I like doing in this pose is actually bringing my hands to touch in the middle. This seems like, from what I can tell when I teach this seems like a little bit of a challenge for some people, but I actually really like it. You can use the block, you can use the hands together, you can use the palms down, whatever you like. I'm gonna demonstrate it with palms together. I walk my feet in, and again, I'm not flinging my top leg. I'm just bending into my bottom leg, and I'm kicking up, keeping the legs split to start, and then I'm working my feet close together or towards each other until they meet right over my hips. Okay? Breathe deep. You'll notice my shoulders are far away from my ears. They're not crunching down. And my elbows are pressing down very firmly into the mat. My elbows are not pulling away from one another. One leg down, the other down. Child's pose.
So that's forearm stand in 5 steps. You want to be able to do each step for about a minute or so before you move to the next step. Let me know how your progress goes. I'm really interested in hearing about it. And thank you for your time.